Hi there, this is Pallavi Alawalia, and I'm back here with Ask Pallavi a Question. And again, our effort here is to bring you answers to the questions that our office gets asked a lot in the previous week. And here we are. Sarah, since you're the one that minds the phones and handles all of the thousands of calls that we get during the week, we're just going to condense that to the most popular questions, right? So let's start.
Thank you, Pallavi. What is the purpose behind the new Visa Bond program?
The Visa Bond pilot program, it's actually a pilot program for right now. It starts on 20th of August and it's running as a pilot for about 12 months. And it requires some B1, B2 applicants for right now. These are from Malawi and Zambia to post a refundable bond between $5,000 and $15,000. It's aimed at encouraging compliance from travelers from countries who've had a high overstay. Again, and also who are working or have not worked so far well with the government of United States to have a vetting process in place, but who are currently working in establishing that. Those countries are excused from providing this bond. But again, at what time they introduce those countries, we don't know. So for right now, we'll wait for another announcement before we say that everyone has to post a bond that's coming here as a visitor.
Great. Is it possible to go from a TN status to a green card?
Yeah, so right now we're moving right into our questions from our Canadian friends, right, that have called, and we've had quite a few appointment requests as well as consultations that were set up from Canadians. A lot of them, though, were E2, but let's just talk about the commonly asked question that is included in the consultation, which is, can I file an adjustment of status if I'm holding a TN status? Now, here is what I've done for a lot of people, because Canadian TNs or even Mexican TNs are a single intent visa, which means that you come in here, you work, your visa gets over, you leave and go back to your home country. In this case, what we ask that people do is file for the second step of the green card, which is the adjustment part at the consulate. So we do NVC focused processes. Now, if the dates are not current for you, filing of an I-140 or an I-130 does not immediately trigger you to show your intent, your dual intent. Now, however, if you were to file your adjustment of status, that may be a dual intent, so I would not advise people to travel. And if they remain pending for over several years, then I definitely would say you should do it as an NVC process instead. That way you're not in violation. So that's how we've handled that by far. But when they say, can we go from TN to green card status? For sure. However, let's be aware of what we are filing first, and no, it's not prohibited to you.
Okay, sounds good. Can a spouse work if the primary visa holder is on TN or L1?
Two different answers. If you're a TN visa holder, which means you're a TD, dependent of a TN, you cannot work in the country. However, if you're an L1 or an H1, L1 spouses who are L2s can work. H1B spouses who are H4s can only work if your H1B spouse has an I-140 approved. So some limited circumstances in which you can work. And we'll go back to one more, which is E2 spouses, they can work. They're E2 dependents and they can work. So all of these, again, focused on Canadians.
Okay. Should applicants still apply for TN at the border in 2025?
Yes, I mean, the application cannot be just a random request, because that fetches you a denial, right? So you don't want to be denied. So have a good, strong application. The law should be quoted. Your employer support letter should not be a generic one. Look at the list of occupations that is listed on the NAFTA treaty from before that was modified, and again, new different names, but still the same NAFTA principles. If it's not a computer scientist for the purposes of a TN, it's a system analyst, right? So you have to be aware of what position it is, right? You can have some modifications as long as the principal title is used. Engineer can be used, but again, if it's a software developer, cannot be used. So you have to be aware of your list of occupations that are allowed for you to run through the TN category. So, very important. Again, we as attorneys don't want to seem to insert ourselves into every process, but you have to be thorough. You have to be, your chances should not be reduced because you did not do some relevant research or did not present a good case to the CBP. It could be refused, however, if CBP still thinks there's some issues with your employer or with your profile in the background, but not because for the lack of the correct statements to be made or documents to be presented.
If a Canadian gets a change of status from USCIS, is that enough for an e-visa?
Oh, so let's say what we're asking. E-visa is a visa, it's stamped on your passport, correct? It allows you to travel, enter in and out of the country. That's a visa. Status is something that's given by USCIS within the country, permission to stay on a certain status. It could be a change to an H-1B, a change to an E2, a change to an E1, a change to a TN, right? That is only permission for you to stay in the country on that particular status as is given by USCIS within the country. The moment you leave the country, you've abandoned your status, right? So you're no longer on that status. You can only enter the country by going for stamping. And in case of E2s, which is how we have this question, you have to obtain the entire process. It's a timely process. It takes about 2-3 months to argue the case to the consulate and then get your visa stamped and your interview, and then obtain the 5-year stamp on your passport to enter. So for a lot of Canadians that do have business transactions or family matters that are going on for them in Canada or elsewhere, we say don't do a change of status. Please, let's do your stamping. Let's argue the case to the consulate. You get your E2 stamped, and then you're good to go.
What type of evidence works best for an EB-1A application?
So we do have a lot of the EB-1As from every part of the world, right? Because this is that top 1%, 5% that are celebrities in their particular professions that are coming here. We coincidentally do it for scientists, researchers. We've done these EB-1As for even dentists, actually, right, who were really special. And I'm going to go over the special aspects for them. We do a lot of athletes who are celebrities, who are recognized in the athletic area. But yes, it's an open field as long as you have sustained national or international acclaim. You should be eligible to try and apply for this. Now, there's a list of almost 10 things that you look at for an EB-1A, out of which the government should approve you on at least 3. Number 1, major awards. They are widely recognized ones. There should be media coverage about you in, reputed media. So I'm talking about national publications. We're talking about websites that have a lot of visitors. So we even give, when we file and provide coverage for this, we have to do a 2-level review. One that says, how is it that you got covered? And then what is this entity where you got covered? What is this publication we got covered? How many readers does it have? How many hits does it have on the website, right? So all of it. So they are branded media that we would use for this. Thirdly, you've judged the work of others on a panel. You've had original contributions with significant impact. You have original contributions that have been made. Scholarly articles have been written. Now, this may not apply to an athlete, as you can recognize, but they may apply to, say, for example, you're a professional who's the top 1% to 5% in your profession, and you've contributed articles to some not media, I would say these would be trade publications. They would be, some magazines that are picked up by in your profession and highly regarded. You have high compensation compared to other peers. Now, this one is particularly a slightly tougher category for us to get into because US dollar value and what they regard as highly paid may not be the same for other countries from where people are coming. And if it is highly compensated. Say, for example, for that particular profession, the average salary is 100K and you're being paid 500K. Well, yeah, maybe then we can use it. But otherwise, we sort of abstain from this one. Critical roles in distinguished organizations. Now, this may be distinguished organizations. We have to pick on organizations which are distinguished. So it can't be just a for-profit employer. It could be maybe a charitable organization which is highly regarded. It could be a university highly regarded. It could be for athletes. We have, if they've played for their country, right? So that would be highly regarded. So we kind of just go into distinguished organizations and define them as well. So understand for an EB-1A, for all people who are applying, it's the quality and the credibility of your evidence that makes a difference. In the recent past, we've seen a lot of people that got denied for EB1s, and these were people who had already been approved that USCIS came back and revoked those cases for. And that was because some lower level evidence was accepted by the officer at that point, that they said, no, hello, actually, this needs to be the top 1 to 5%. So it's not going to apply anymore. So this being said, we can probably wrap up our Ask Pallavi a quick question. It's supposed to be a quick question, and here I am that go into throws in explaining what this means. Immigration rules do evolve rapidly. Having the right information at the right time is very important to all of you. We are here always to guide you. You can go on to ahluwalialaw.com, find us. You can find our blogs if you're a reader. You can find some things that we post on YouTube, or you could go on to X, Twitter, and see some blogs from us, or you can find us, I guess we're right now on Instagram and Facebook as well. So you can look for us there. So we look forward to being back, and we'll try and bring to you what we think were important questions that was asked to us the past week. All right, all the best. Thanks.